Hello everyone, figured I'd make a video. I tried to make a couple, but they didn't turn out too good, and YouTube doesn't want to upload it. It keeps saying there's some type of error. Doesn't say what the error is, but it just won't upload my video. So I don't know, I'm gonna give it another shot. Don't know how many times you gotta try, but I'll keep trying. Still having a lot of word synchronicities, so that seems to be frequent. It's not easing up any. And then other people around me that I know and mention it to, they're noticing it now. I don't think it's something that's just starting. I think that they're just becoming more aware of it. I think it's always been there. We just kind of get distracted. And I think that's probably part of this game, is distraction. So I'm kind of sitting on this trail that I like to jog and walk. I spend a lot of time on this trail. It's a paved trail. And it's one of my favorite paved trails. And just love the trees. Still a lot of noise. Can't escape the noise. Once a quiet area, now it's just full of noise. Anyways, I was making a video about filler people. I'm not sure if any of you heard of filler people, but there's different theories and I guess definitions of filler people. I kind of have my own idea of what filler people are, and I do think they exist. Dolores Cannon talks about filler people, and so does Eve Lorgen, but I don't know if her definition of filler people are the same. She talks about parasites or alien love bites. It's really interesting to listen to. So if you're kind of into that, or you want to know more about it, it's definitely something to look into. Dolores Cannon, I guess she kind of says filler people are just people here that, I don't know if she's saying that they're soulless, but they are here maybe to just activate our awakening or get us to advance. And to a degree, I think that is, but as I've kind of just become more of an observer here, because I'm not quite sure what this reality is or what we're really living on, I just observe more. And I do notice that they exist. Some people say they don't, that they're just souls who aren't very advanced, and they're young souls. They're easily manipulated and fooled and tricked. I don't think so. Here's the thing. Here's one of the reasons why. It's because they seem to activate like your lower vibrations, your lower frequencies. Why are they always triggering those lower emotions based in fear and suffering, such as shame and guilt and anger and desire and apathy? They just vibrate on that frequency. It seems like everything they say falls into that. They don't, they just don't have anything nice to say. A perfect example are government employees. You hear everyone complaining about them. They barely work 5 days a week, and they always get the holidays off. They just want there to be some kind of structure and line and aggravate you to no ends, like the DMV or BMV or whatever you go to get your registration for your vehicle or your license. You know those people, like they just, they're there to trigger you and to get you so upset. How many of them are really helpful? They're supposed to be working for the people. You know, that's what their jobs are paid by the people, but they sure don't seem to serve the people, do they? So that's just one example. And like I said, I'm not trying to sound mean or hateful. It's just something everyone says. They just hate going around government employees. They just do. But I have so much to say on this topic, and I get off track. I have to find out where I'm going with it. But filler people ties into energy. And so if you look at the quantum physics and where they talk about energy and frequency, and you've got all of the good feelings at the top, the awareness, the love and peace and harmony. And not saying that the lower frequencies are something that you shouldn't experience, because I think that's where the new age people get it really messed up, is they try to shame blame you into feeling like if you don't feel positive and you have a negative attitude or you're feeling bad, they're like, oh, you're manifesting that because you're not happy and you're not being positive. And they blame you. Kind of like they're not much different than like the churches that you go to. Well, you're just not praying enough. You're just not praying enough. Good things aren't happening to you because you just don't have enough faith and you're not praying enough. So there's really not much difference than what they try to separate themselves from. To me, as an observer, it just seems to be the same thing. So, you have these frequencies. You're meant to experience the lower vibration. But this is what gets me, is the interference that's here. It seems like it wants you to stay stuck in it. When you talk about your programming, especially television programming, you have all of these commercials and they're all designed to make you feel a certain emotion. And it's usually like desire and wanting to spend money and wanting material possessions that you don't need. It's just this programming, and it's so predictive, it's so scripted, which goes back to the filler people. They're so programmed and they're so predictable after a while. You can almost predict what they're going to say to get you set off. When my mom passed away, it was maybe about, I'm going to have to make this video really short because mosquitoes are getting me. It's crazy. They're already out and they are tearing up through my tights here. But when my mom passed away, and I try to use a lot of my examples through that experience that was just so life-changing for me. It wasn't like 15 minutes after she passed that I saw this thing shimmering in like the corner of my eye. I looked up and it was this beautiful like snowflake pattern, I guess like a mandala, and it was just vibrating, radiating, and it was just hovering over the doorway from the living room to the dining room. And I just instinctually knew that it was my mom's soul. I just knew it. And so I was still holding her hand, and I looked over and I go, is that you? Is that your soul? I knew that it was her soul. So I do believe I'm going to stand up because I think the mosquitoes are like on the ground and they are biting through my clothes. I just knew that it was energy. And so I started researching because I was like, somebody else has had to see this. And I came up with the mandalas and how they've been talked about for centuries, and their patterns and energy. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you come across these filler people, I mean, I don't know how many of them, if they really do serve a good purpose, because I don't think they do. I think there probably are some, but as I become more observing, I know that there's some type of interference, and I know that there's some type of agenda to keep us distracted. So what if there aren't filler people that are designed to just keep us in that lower vibrational state? Look how much material things are pushed on us, and just fear the fear of terrorist attacks, the advertising of things that we just don't need, our break away from, well, they've breaking us away from being self-sustainable and being in nature. Look at the pornography. It's made you to desire and then feel shame and guilt. It's everywhere. And I think that's the key, is just not staying in those states, not staying in those states of emotions that keep our frequency lower. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I mean, just kind of like to hear other people's thoughts and opinions, and those take the time to observe. Just become more observing. And take time to get away from it all. Like, I try as much as I can. I try to do as much as I can to get away from it. And I'm still going to keep trying. I'm thinking about breaking away from that 9 to 5. And every morning I get up and I ask for guides who do have my best interest and the best interest of every living being, the good of everything, to help me create something or do something that I enjoy every day of my life. Anyways, I'm going to end it on that note. Take care, everybody.